Alrighty guys, what is going up? I hope you guys are all having a great and an amazing day today. Now in today's episode, we're going to be talking about Boeing stock. We're going to be seeing if it's a buy, a sell, a long-term hold, or an overall trade, or should you just stay away from it. We're going to be talking about everything from the fundamentals, earnings, to the total stock breakdown, such as support, resistance, stuff that you guys, should understand before you guys start investing in the stock. We're going to be talking about the best time to buy, the perfect price points, pretty much everything you could possibly imagine about Boeing stock. Now, before we jump into the episode, right now we are doing a AirPods giveaway. So how you enter, it's super simple. All you guys got to do is like the video, subscribe to my channel, and then like my Facebook page, Farr. Once you guys do that, you guys will be entered in for a free pair of AirPods. So make sure you guys go ahead and do that. Alright, so let's jump into the episode. Roll the intro. Let's go. Bam! So we all know Boeing airplanes. Those are those huge planes that always fly above us, or we're in them traveling to those awesome places. Those are those huge planes that you normally will see with certain airlines. Now these airplane manufacturers sell them to the airlines for a lot of money. They're worth hundreds of millions of dollars. Over the course of, a long-term investment, these airline companies make their money back. Well, just recently, within the last year, we had a couple of crashes from these Boeing planes, and a lot of people lost their lives. So we had this kind of uncertainty with this company. Did they make the right airplanes? What's going on with them? Is it kind of like a recall, like a car recall, but with these huge airplanes? What's going on with them? So right now, we're kind of in this 2020 like market crash, market volatility, market recession. Where some days the stock market is falling hundreds or thousands of points, and the next day it's up 1,200 points. We have this uncertainty in the stock market that makes it very risky to invest in these companies. But if you're smart, you can get in on these companies at great price points. So what's going on with like the earnings and everything like that? So if you would have bought Boeing stock roughly 3 years ago, you would have not made any money, which honestly kind of sucks, because when you want to invest in a company, you're putting your money out there for these companies to try to make you more money. So really we had this huge downtrend and this huge nasty fall. The stock was literally trading at $320. Within a couple of weeks, the stock hit $100. So if you guys would have got in, you guys would be down roughly $200 on the stock. Not to mention Boeing's loss of $2.33 per share made that stock price fall even more compared to last year when they hit a profit of $5.33 per share, which made that stock price go up. So right now we're kind of on this little downward trend of this company that is losing money, and a couple of planes have been crashing. Also, the 737 airplanes have been halted, so you can't buy anymore. They're really trying to figure out what's going on with these airplanes, making them function the wrong way and obviously causing these crashes, which is obviously going to hurt their revenue and hurt their share price. Now in quarter four, the total stock revenue fell roughly 37%, which made that stock fall even more. Not to mention the commercial airlines have stopped purchasing, and on top of that, that revenue fell roughly 67%. Now, Boeing company just did something that a lot of other companies are starting to do, is cut their dividend. Before, Boeing paid roughly a 2.3% dividend, and that's right around $8 per year. Honestly, it's a great little perk to have in a stock, and they just cut it. That is not looking good for Boeing. Now, the total market evaluation, or the market cap for this stock, is $101.9 billion. So obviously this company is worth a lot of money, and it is not looking good when this stock is falling like crazy. So now let's go ahead, turn to the total stock charts and look at everything such as support, resistance, where to get in, where to sell, and if you should even invest in the company. Alrighty guys, what is going on? So we are up and loaded here on the TD Ameritrade's Think or Swim platform. So we're going to be talking about how I'm going to be breaking down this stock here, and then kind of like what I see kind of going on with it. So as you guys can see, we have ticker symbol BA. This is the Boeing company here. So as you guys can see, it hit highs, almost trading at almost $400. So that's pretty much where we see that resistance. Let's go ahead and draw that out so you guys can see. So you guys can see it pretty much hit it. Once here, came in contact almost with it here. So it does have a hard time breaking over this little price point there. And then slowly we kind of got this little downward trend. if we go ahead and actually draw a trend line from that high, you guys can see we have this. This is what you call a downward trend. So if you guys are investors or even traders, you have to realize the trend is your friend. So looking at it, this would not be an opportunity to buy. But looking at it now, look at this stock. We got it slammed down during this virus kind of coming out and realizing, okay, this virus is tanking all these airline stocks such as Delta, such as, Spirit, a variety of other airlines. Obviously, Boeing's going to get hit hard on top of that, just because, first off, they had those crashes, which was not very good. Second, we're in this market recession. And it's not looking strong for the total market. If we go ahead and pull up, any company, let's just pull up the total, SPY. So this is like the S&P 500 ETF. You guys can see we've seen it getting slammed. It's a very similar chart, but the difference between this chart and the other, let's go ahead and draw out the highs. Before this, we had this nice little upward trend. If we go ahead and draw this out, you guys can see the trend is your friend. So if you would have got in, you would have been slowly riding this wave all the way up and everything looking strong. But if we go ahead and go back to Boeing, excuse me, I can think for a minute. If we go ahead and look at Boeing, we were on this downward trend. So the company was still losing money, and then we had it tank down. So what I see kind of going on with this here, I think this is way undervalued for this stock. I think this stock should be around $300. So getting in right now, still 50% return. Obviously, we want to get the best price points. So here's what I would do. Looking at it, you can, let's say you got in and it continues to fall, which it probably will, you guys can average your position into it and move your average total price down. But let's go ahead and look at the total time frame, because this is only the 180 days. So let's go ahead and change this to the max available. Whoops, we got to go to daily here. Max available. Let's change it from a day to a week. Click OK. Now look at this stock. So as you guys can see, if that's say you bought in around $100, it's like buying this stock all the way back here. This is a couple years ago. So if you would have bought in 3 years ago, you would have not made any money. But before then, look at this stock climbing all the way up to almost, $450. We had these crashes, and then we got this downward trend, this nasty downward trend of this stock getting slammed even more during this recession. So what I see kind of going on with it is getting into this stock. I think there's money to be made here, obviously. I think getting into the stock at around $100, if it continues to fall, if that's say you can't wait, no big deal, get into it around 150 and then average your position if it continues to fall. Once this whole coronavirus and this whole virus kind of stops going, people are going to want to start going on planes. The airlines are going to boot back up. People are going to want to travel more. And then the stock's going to probably push around $300 within a year or two. And obviously that's a 50% return just from an easy investment. The only thing that I don't like about this stock, honestly, is they cut their dividend. That's not great. That really isn't. So meaning if that's say you bought in, normally you get like a nice little perk. That perk's always kind of like a dividend or sometimes even a special dividend like Costco did a while back. Special dividend is when they do something outside the norm. They did a $7 per share special dividend. This just always continued to pay that dividend. The dividend right here, $1.42, $1.42, $1.71. They continue to, they continue to increase it, which is the perk, and then they got this slam. They're worried about capital, which is expected about their company, so they cut the dividend just like Ford did. Whoops, hit my desk. Just like Ford did. Obviously, once this whole recession stops coming about, they're going to put that back on, which is going to get a lot more investors involved and probably push that stock price up. So where do I see it if that say it continues to fall down even more? Obviously, Boeing, I don't think is going anywhere anytime soon. Looking at this stock, it used to trade right around $118. This was a while back, between 35 and 118. So obviously, if that's say you got in, old resistance or old support and old resistance become new support and new resistance. So resistance here is new support. So 160 is support. old support, resistance. 103 is resistance. You got to realize that. So you guys can clearly see that this resistance is now the new support here. So obviously it's going to help support it right there. So getting in, I think perfect would be around $100. $100 and under would be perfect buy for the stock, to be quite honest. I don't think this company's going anywhere anytime soon. Obviously, if let's say we go ahead and look at the RSI and all the indicators, RSI is trading at a 29, very strong. That means that this stock is very undervalued and will most likely push back up. Looking at the moving average lines, so you guys can see it uses like this 200 moving average line. This is that yellow, almost as like a support line. So you guys can see it hit it, bounce, hit it, bounce, kind of went under it, bounce, 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 boom. Now it's under. So now next time it comes in contact with it, it's going to be resistance. That's the only thing that doesn't look strong about it. But I think if we get enough investors, enough people actually wanting to purchase this stock, and once the stock actually looks strong, we'll be making money. Alrighty guys, so that is it. I hope you guys enjoyed the episode of the Boeing review. So really the total idea for this video is very simple. Getting into the stock, if let's say you got in around 150, the stock will honestly probably start to fall a little more. What I would do is average your position down lower to average your price lower. And then once the stock rebounds, which it's honestly just a matter of time, it could be anywhere from a year to 2 years. And you know, if the stock pushes back up to highs, you're looking at over a 50 or 60% return. If let's say it doesn't, cut your losses early, maybe around $50. So you risk that $50 to make upwards of $400 or $500 if it hits the other highs. And right there is the perfect asymmetrical risk reward for the stock. $100 is the perfect price point in my opinion. I think that's a perfect support for the stock. So if let's say it falls below that, one, you could cut your losses very early and kind of just wait it out. Two, you could average your position down even lower. So if the stock rebounds, you make even more money. The only thing that I really don't like about this stock is they cut their dividend, but overall I think it's right around that 3.5 stars out of 5 if you were gonna totally purchase this stock. Obviously, the only thing I don't like is they need to figure out the 737 airplane just because the revenue fell short, but overall, if let's say you guys wanted to get in at a good price, I think $100 would be okay. So that is it. I hope you guys enjoyed the episode, and if you guys did, make sure you guys hit that subscribe button. We'll see you guys tomorrow in another episode. Take care guys, have a good one. Peace out. Bam!